And we're live. How's it going, Northreach? Welcome to the chopping block and happy anniversary. God, it's weird. It doesn't feel like a year has passed since we started our first episode. Does it feel like a year? I don't feel like it's been a year.
It feels
Happy
like longer than that.
Us. Happy birthday to us.
Alright, well, anyway, as always, I'm your host, Hars, and returning with me again is Ray. And for our finale, you know her, you love her, she was our first co-host, and still... Well, she's still her. Welcome back, Vex.
It's good to be back. It's been a bit.
Yeah, as you can tell, this is going to be a lot less formal compared to our normal stuff. We're just kind of hanging out, doing whatever.
What do you mean less small? Turn this into a full-on interrogation.
Less formal is what I'm saying.
More formal. Everybody's wearing their ties. You can't see it, but it's happening.
I'm wearing a bow tie because they're cool.
I'm wearing
Even better.
I'm wearing a snake for a tie. Does that work?
I have a
Nagini
kitten
says
in
hi,
my
by the
lap.
way.
Does that count as formal?
If you go for like the James Bond thing, then yeah.
Hi, Nikki.
Oh.
Alright, so... Vex, it's been a while since we've hung out. How have you been?
I've been alright. I've had an incredibly busy year.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, I understand. I just got done. I got done moving out of my. I said that I used this joke in the last episode, but I just recently moved out of my cardboard box into a larger, much more spacious cardboard box.
With two very interesting characters.
Oh yeah, yeah. At first I thought they were just voices in my head, but then they started kicking the box, demanding I pay rent, and yeah, I realized they're real people now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm finding out the joys of having a garden and trying to learn what is actually in my garden.
I started watching more anime. I finally got into Hunter x Hunter.
I really enjoyed that up to a point, and then I stopped.
Was it during the Chimerians arc?
out.
Because that's where I'm at right now, and if it is, I can see why.
The ant people?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
yeah. See.
I think that might have been the only part of it I have seen.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah?
Because
Everything
Dana
before that was
watched
so
it.
fun. Everything before that point was really fun, and it
Yeah.
felt
I
like it was
missed the
leading
fun.
somewhere.
No, yeah, it was. God.
I missed the fun and stepped straight into Horrorville.
God, yeah, I know, right? See, that's my equivalent to like not wanting to live in the Harry Potter universe, because I know people want to live in a world where Hogwarts and magic is real, but I just can't live in a world where Aragog and his family are real. All right, I just can't. Okay.
Spiders.
Yeah.
But maybe Neville Longbottom will date me.
Oh.
He's so tall and sweet.
I'm pretty sure he's married by this point too.
Yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, you gotta remember, back in like 2018, now they're sending their kids off. Or maybe it was like last year or something, but it was supposed to be really recent when they dropped their kids off. Alright, I realized we kind of went on a bit of a tangent, so how this is gonna work this time...
That's the best part.
Yeah, that's true. How this is gonna work out is we asked you guys to send us your questions, and we're pretty much just we'll answer this in sequence. So I guess in terms of seniority, I'd go first, and then Vex, since you were the first co-host, you'd get to go first, and then I guess Ray, that would leave you as last in line.
Then me!
Yep.
She gets to evaluate our answers and have time to make a much better, more cohesive answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have the tactical advantage.
See, I'm honestly kind of disappointed,
but
though.
definitely not least.
I'm honestly disappointed. I gave them the opportunity. If they wanted to roast me, they absolutely could have. But no one's really asking any roasting style questions. So,
But we still get to roast you, right?
Oh yeah, and equally I get to roast you two back.
I'm so bad at roasting people.
1v1 me in real life, bro.
I just
Have you
feel
tried
like
Have you tried
you're a big
sashaying them,
meanie.
Vex?
I just start yelling like, "You're a big meanie!" And they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "'Cause you are!" That's how I
Vex and
roast.
our version of roasting is basically the Hulk and Thor. Where they insult each other. They call you the puny Avenger. You're the stupid Avenger.
We are like fire. Okay, but you are like smoldering fire. Hulk is like raging fire.
My favorite part is it doesn't matter which is which.
It really doesn't. Okay, so, I guess where's our first one? Here. Alright, so this first one we got is from Richter, and he asks, what is your favorite aspect about doing this show? And for me, honestly, it's just kind of getting to touch base with a bunch of people that I don't get to normally. I mean, I guess you kind of say that about, like, any big event that we have when we're all there. But, you know, sometimes we catch them at a good time, and other times we just kind of catch them at, well, going through sort of a transitional part of my life. But, like, here we kind of get to see how things are going, like, at their park, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little chicken, little how you doing?
Pretty much.
So, my favorite aspect sort of involves that, but it was absolutely 100% definitely learning what people's favorite snacks were and then trying them for myself and kind of accommodating them into my repertoire.
Yeah, little known fact, that's the real reason Vex left the show, is because she was going on a journey to scour the earth for all the exotic snacks that she could eat.
That seems extreme. Like,
are you telling me that's not
really
something
extreme.
Are you telling me that's not something you would do, Vex?
That's the start of a beautiful anime.
Kino's journey to hunger sating.
I'm more like the side character who would go along with the adventurous pointed character who's on an epic quest to collect snacks, and I would just like be happy for the snacks. But I'm definitely a Bilbo type of person where I'm just like, I like being home. Traveling is arduous. You learn a lot.
Hey,
and
man.
then you come home and you're just so much happier.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Bilbo was exactly happy when he came home. He came back and everyone was trying to sell his shit. I'd be mad.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, I just realized Vex is a hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
absolutely.
100%
No, yeah, absolutely.
right.
She's definitely.
Yeah.
Hobbits are my favorite. That's a good thing. I love you.
There was one period of time where I was really heavily trying to gear my guard towards hobbitness. And I did so much research, and I was saving screenshots, and, like, I never got traction on it, and then I went back to my original, comfortable tunic and leggings. Way to
you
go.
got this. You're like a rainbow hobbit. It's perfect.
Rainbow hobbit. That would make my son so happy. Anything with rainbows. He's obsessed. Rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. So, I'm lucky there. I got a little outlet.
So I think for me, my favorite aspect was figuring out, like, learning how people got involved in Amtgard and what they loved about Amtgard, because everybody's story is pretty unique about that. That and I like talking to humans. It's a strange condition I have.
I too enjoy talking to humans, as a human would normally love to do. And definitely not. A squid!
Oh, a squid?
A squid!
Robot.
Damn it, I was banking on robot.
Exterminate.
I mean-
Exterminate.
I guess if that's the route we're going, we could very well use that too. I've been doing a lot of experimenting with Adobe Audition, and I think I actually found the way to recreate the Dalek sound for how you talk.
Ooh. We could do a rain theme where everyone is slowly replaced by robots.
Doctor Who rain theme.
Doctor
Bring
Who rain
on
theme.
the beauty.
Ooh.
Yes.
Can I be a weeping angel?
Can we? Yes. Yes.
Can you be? Who will not be a weeping angel?
Weeping angel haters.
In this battle game, the only rule is don't blink. Wait, what?
Nothing was more terrifying than realizing they can come out of TVs too.
Oh god, yeah.
That is so broken.
No. Okay, no. I saw a post for this, and you know how like most desktops now can like change their background pictures over time? Yeah.
I heard about this.
Yeah. Okay, you already know.
I heard about that one.
Yes.
So scary. I might break my computer if I saw that.
Yeah, no.
I would.
I really, the first real scary movie I ever watched was The Ring, and it kind of scarred me for life. I stay far away from scary movies now, mostly because I have nightmares about my loved ones being tortured and murdered by supernatural psychos. But like, so like The Ring, thinking of something
That is
messing with
oddly
my
specific
screens and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, so that right there, no.
I'm trying to think of the first movie that actually like scared me the way that like that. I think it was Suspiria. That was a big one.
I don't know what that is, but I'm probably really happy that I don't know what that is.
Yeah, honestly, it might be for the better.
Mm-hmm. I have found cheats though. I've definitely found cheats. So I once watched one of the Silent Hills with my sister, but my parents had gone to bed, so we couldn't do it with the sound on. It was mute the whole time. And she had already seen it, so she knew exactly when to tell me to close my eyes. And then she really wants me to watch The Cabin in the Woods.
Yes! Okay, that one's really good, actually.
So our plan, because I still want to do it, because she told me the whole story, and I really want to see the story, but the only way I can really do it is if I'm drunk. So that's our plan. We're going to see if that works. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm excited. Chopping block. Yay!
Okay, so I'm going to sort of interrupt this. Like, this is kind of going to date when we recorded this a little bit. But I am just happy to announce that my apprentice actually won her election for Guildmaster of Wizards. So, Freya, if you're listening to this, congratulations.
Yay, Freya!
Yeah, I was excited for her on this because she was going against both Dracek and Meiju, so yeah, good on you, Freya.
Ooh. Yeah. Nice.
Okay, so yeah, favoritism aside though, Okay, so I'm not really sure how this one was phrased, but he just what he means by this, but the way it's phrased is your worst liked, which I'm gonna assume is like your worst liked aspect, your worst favorite thing about this episode, about making the chopping block, and that would be scheduling. Scheduling is abysmal sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Who was that one? Yeah, who was that guy we were gonna be interviewing that one time? Like Silver Creed or something? Silver something? I don't know. That one guy.
That one guy.
Yeah. I don't know. Ray, do you have any other thoughts on that?
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I like talking to everybody, and I think the thing that was most difficult is like when there were tough technical difficulties, with audio. But that's probably it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wasn't really sure how that one was phrased, but I hope that answered the question for you, Richter. And, what's this next one here? What was the story behind it and your reasoning to start them? Okay, so, I think we talked a bit about this in, like, previous episodes, but...
Sorry, I just want to interject that I also am going to say that I agree with you that my worst liked aspect of the show was scheduling.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, honestly. And it's nobody's, it's never one person's fault is the worst part of it. Actually, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but life just gets in the way.
Yes.
That's the lesser known quote of Jurassic Park. Not life finds a way, it's like life gets in the way.
Life punches holes through the way.
Anyway, so this next question is, what was the story behind this and what is your reason for starting them? Okay, so I know we talked about this in like previous episodes, but I guess for an in-depth story on this is, before this, people who knew me know that I absolutely hated it when people ran for offices as like a, like a vanity project or whatever have you. because we had a lot of people who do that, and you could even argue we do still, but that's a topic for another day. But at the time, I was just coming off the heels of a pretty, well, not a bad reign, but kind of a rough one, at least the way it ended off. And afterwards, I was kind of tired, just kind of thinking, geez, some of this stuff is exhausting. Like, I don't think the Monarch Seats gets enough credit sometimes. And I thought, what if I was just gonna make a podcast series that sort of endorses, like, the big officers, like, the Kingdom Top 5 and the Council of Crowns. And I was just kind of thinking, with us becoming a kingdom, this might be the perfect way to kick it off. So, I talked with both people who were running for the Kingdom Monarch at the time, and I was like, alright, looks like we got this going. And then that's when I contacted Vex to being our co-host, because we were talking about doing something like this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's pretty much the long and the short of it on how it all happened.
And then we made a video!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah.
Fish waders.
That's right, I almost forgot about that. Oh man, that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then about, one season later, we had a good time, and then, real life happens and Vex had to tag out. And, that's when I contacted Ray, and I was like, yo, Ray, you wanna help me out with this? And she was like, yeah, sure, let's do this, fam. And we're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And, yeah, that happened.
You totally just became the guy from Ant-Man.
I have a small confession. I've never actually seen the second I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet.
It's really
Me neither.
good. Highly recommend it. It's
I know.
super fun.
I love the first one. I just haven't had time for the second one yet, because like I said, I've been moving and all that stuff's happening.
Mm-hmm. This next question is so fun.
What? Oh, what is it?
The next question.
What is it?
How did you create your persona name?
Ah, this one. Okay. It's kind of surprising how often we get this question asked, but I guess for those of you who are wanting that actual answer from us, we can actually, you can look to it in this episode. So for mine, that would be, so I initially wanted to have, a theme of, underwater stuff, and you can still kind of see that in a lot of the things I have now, I wear a lot of dark blues, I have my shield, which has my heraldry, which is the anglerfish. I call it the Mariana after the Mariana Trench. I had a lot of fish names for my weapons. Like my first two swords, I named Piranha and Barracuda. My throwaway weapons were called Minnows, and even the full name for my my LARP name, Harzicum, is actually an anagram for Mako Shark.
Ooh.
Yeah, so worth noting at the time I wanted to be a lot more known for my speed rather than magic, because at the time I didn't even know what magic was in Amtgard. So I thought, what's fast and works in the water? Oh, Mako Shark. I guess they're the fastest shark in the water. Cool. I'll go with that. Now let's just play with that.
Now I want to give you a code name. Mako Mako.
Hey man, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Yes.
Mako, they're the fastest sharks in the water, and they also play the best characters in Avatar.
How confusing would that get? Real life name, Amtgard name, code name.
Dude, you're talking to a guy who watches My Hero Academia, where I have to keep up with 3 names for each person. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Right? I just started watching that. I'm on season 2.
Oh man, I'm so happy that I'm so happy it's getting the love it is, because one of the guys I actually used to do voice acting with is the voice of Deku in the English dub. I'm so happy for him.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. You're all connected.
Well, kinda. I only kept contact with a small handful of them. A lot of them went on to do good things, but I only talked to 5 or 6 of them that have been doing stuff actively.
Hmm. I guess I'll go next. So, my persona name, okay, get a little real for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any social anything before Amtgard. I sort of, I had a little friend group in college, or in high school, that dissolved instantly when we left, and we didn't do anything outside of high school. And college, I just kind of moved through it without engaging in any social, extracurricular, anything. And then I finished college, and I was sort of aimless and floating and miserable because I didn't have any, like, social outlets, friends, people to do stuff with outside of my family. So I found Amtgard, and my husband was really excited for me to start it because he knew how much I needed to grow, like, as a human being. And so when I came into Amtgard, my sense of self-identity was very vague. And I have a fox tattoo on my shoulder blade. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna stick with like a fox type of thing. So I was thinking of names like Vixen and shortening it to Vix, but I did not like the way that felt saying it, like Vix. It just kind of doesn't really make a nice sound to me. And at the time, I was also playing Skyrim, and there is a character in Skyrim in the Thieves Guild whose name is Vex. And I loved the way that sounded, and she's actually a really mean person, her character in the game. So I was like, I think the only thing I'm really going to take away from this is that set of 3 letters, and I'm good. So that's how I picked Vex.
See, and I initially thought the name Vex was taken from like the PS2 platforming game that was called Vex, except for it was with 2 X's.
Ooh.
And it was like
I don't know that game.
It came out around the time of, like, you know, Jack and Daxter and like Ratchet and Clank. It was like this marsupial looking character.
Huh. I never played that one. I did play Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I couldn't tell you too much about it because just because, like, it's just been so long since I played it. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think that this name really, it felt really good, and it grew really good. Like, I actually have a lot of names now that I did not come up with myself at all. Other people just kind of, like, tacked on different pieces onto my name, so I'm really happy with how Vex is a very solid base that can grow so much, because I feel like that's what happened to me. So, like, I came into Amtgard, and there's little old me trying to figure out what to do, and meeting so many new people and being able to connect with them just over the basis of nerddom, and then making close relationships and learning more about myself, what I do like and what I don't like, and where I do want to go and where I don't want to go. And I don't know, I think it's a very... I really love my name because I think it kind of set me off on getting a social identity that helped me grow as a person. That was a long story for a very simple kind of...
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm done.
Well, I got my name because my grandpa was named Ray, and we were like 2 peas in a pod. Like, I grew up with him, and he was basically one of the most important and influential people in my entire life. And even when I was a preteen, I was naming my characters Rhea. And then after watching Evangelion and anime and learning that Ray could be a female name, I got kind of excited about that. And so I've always named Ray, like, characters Ray, like in D&D games and other stuff I did. And so it was just the first thing that came to mind. Ray Hikaru translates. I also like what it means too, because it means avatar, or like, well, like an avatar, like a spirit avatar or something like that. And so it has this like really kind of gentle but like powerful weight to it when I think of it in terms of my grandpa, and just in terms of, you know, the magical metaphysical world or whatever. And so I lengthened it when I started playing D&D in my 20s to Ray Hikaru, because that Hikaru is like to sparkle, so it's like sparkling avatar. So I just I like the translation that it got its start and the fact that I totally idolize my grandpa. So
that is so awesome.
So yeah, also equally strange and long.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
These stories are like, I always like how some of these, every once in a while when we get these kind of stories about like how their name came to be, like there's usually like either one that's, it ranges from like, I just kind of felt like choosing this one to like these deep sentimental stories, and I love it when we get to those kind of results. Okay, what's the next one? Oh. Okay. So, Pockets asks, who is the better co-host?
I have an answer for this.
Yes, Vex?
If I may.
Alright.
So, Ray, I think that you will agree with me. But Hars, you have been such a wonderful co-host on our show. You've been so supportive when we've, put this whole thing together and asked you to be a sidekick, and we did all this work to make this happen inside and outside, and you are so nice to do this with us.
He's definitely my favorite co-host.
This is really stupid.
I'm so glad that you're my sidekick too.
I'm not crying, you're crying, shut up!
Honestly, you do a lot of work on this. Like, the whole time I was a co-host, I felt like I was just along for a really fun ride.
Same here. Definitely same here.
I'm not crying, shut up!
Hars.
Honestly...
Hars.
What?
Hars, we love you.
Honestly, yeah. I'm gonna paraphrase Mara on this one and say I'm not going to choose favorites amongst my children here. Like, honestly, you guys have both been fantastic co-hosts to work with. Like, Vex, you for like just sort of helping me like chug along on this during the first season, and like just watching you kind of go ham during the second half, creating what would ultimately sort of become a staple in our series, like being your lightning rounds. Yeah. And then Ray, you pretty much carried on after like Vex had to bow out pretty much flawlessly, and you even but you still managed to kind of leave your own imprint on it, so where you could very easily tell the difference between like co-hosting by Vex and co-hosting by you. So honestly, you guys have both been fantastic. So I just wanted to say thank you both for doing this with me this whole time.
Oh, thank you, Hars.
Yeah, see, I can do it too.
Thank you for letting us join you on your adventure.
Yes, adventure!
Alright, well, we still got a little bit more of our adventure to go through here.
Adventure!
Okay, so we got a couple of people asking, like, that we're not doing this for the next reign, and I guess I may as well just address this at this point now, too. So, the actual reason that we didn't want to keep doing this is, well, a couple different reasons. One being, and this is kind of a blunt one, we don't get a lot of like different people running for office, and I know that probably sounds a little asinine considering like this reign. I think we have more different people in different offices than any other reign. But at the same time, it also comes down to it comes down to selfish reasons too, and that being, I want to start branching out and actually doing my own projects again, because, I mean, this has been great and all, and it's been great exercise to keep me, like, going, but at the same time, I also want to start doing my own stuff, and believe it or not, the chopping block, when we do end up doing it, does take a little bit of work sometimes, because we have deadlines to work under, because we've been trying, and for the most part, succeeding in getting episodes out every other week, and, being able to do that would be great, but I would have to either, to do what I want to do, would mean I'd either have to, double time, which I can't because I'm working 2 jobs while I do this, or outsourcing to a second person, which I honestly couldn't do in clear consciousness because I'm a perfectionist. I like things better when I'm helming the ship. And also worth noting, back to the same people thing is, honestly, the risk for that, with the risk of multiple people, the same people running an office every year, it also comes the risk of recycled content, which I want to avoid. And this last reign, to sort of counterbalance some of it, we created a segment called Beneath the Armor, where we would do like a more in-depth interview of some of our returning guests, and you know, if any one of those people we interviewed decided to run for office again, and that office would be one we would like be interviewing them for, hypothetically anyway, well then, I guess we could just move down like the totem pole or something like that. But then if that's somebody we interviewed already, and it's a very vicious and tedious cycle. But not only that, but like again, looping back to what we talked about earlier in this episode is scheduling conflicts, because that is a real problem too. And that can range, and the thing is, it can range from anything from, you know, Vex having real life issues, and a good example, though we joked about it earlier, is Sir Goldcrest. Like, we still haven't really been able to pinpoint a time to do this, if we're gonna do it at all, which, at this point, I'll be blunt, is probably not gonna happen. I really feel bad for hyping that up, since we were planning that pretty much from the start of this reign, but, you know, real life happens, and that's okay. And, you know, and then, you know, for those of you thinking, well, why not Ray? Well, Ray, aren't you starting, like, medical school, like, within the next, like, month or so?
Why, yes, Hars, I am. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and, I'm not about to have her, like, balance, like, her medical schoolwork with doing this at the same time, because, like, I wouldn't do that. If I was in that position, I wouldn't.
They told me I'm not allowed to have a second job.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, so, kind of a long-winded answer, but I hope that kind of addresses things a little better.
It's an important part of projects to be able to step back and know when to end them.
Yeah, like, I'd rather our projects end on a high note and people remember it as being awesome than to just kind of keep doing it year in and year out, releasing with our stuff becoming progressively more stale and, like, tired, to a point of where people are happy that it's gone. I don't want it to go out the hero's way. Like, you either die a firefly or you live long enough to see yourself become heroes.
That or in the middle of a writer's strike.
Oh, dude, if you think I have if anyone actually thinks these things are scripted, if you think I have the patience to script out something that's 40 minutes long of us just talking back and forth about nothing, pretty much, I mean, I'm happy you think so highly of my work ethic, but good lord, man.
Save Hars, save Amtgard.
Dude, if this was scripted, it would be so much better.
If it were scripted, this would be so much more smooth. It'd be a lot more smoothly done, that's for sure.
Get to do your pre-editing.
God, yeah, I know. I barely even do that much during the development process anymore. Okay, ooh, that's right. Deli gave us a string of questions.
Deli questions! I love deli questions.
Alright.
Delibird.
Delibird.
Quack quack, like from Pokemon.
I think we made that joke last episode. I don't know.
I definitely took a picture, like a screenshot of catching a Delibird in Pokemon, and then I can't remember if I sent it to him or posted it, like, on one of the pages and, like, tagged him in it.
Yeah, see... Oh, man, I lost my train of thought. Alright, well, anyway, let's pull these in now. Alright. So Deli asks, what is the proudest thing you've ever entered into Chronicles? And for me, that's an easy one, because pretty much the things I am consistently proud of would be my audio dramas, because I've always had fun making them, and I always love the results that I get, whether it's my own self-satisfaction or watching people enjoy it too.
They're so fun.
Yeah. If I had to choose which one of those specifically I liked, it's kind of a tie. It's gonna either be between the Star Wars one I did, which was like the dramatic retelling of how Hars ended up getting his scar. It was told entirely in like Star Wars format with like the music, sound effects, and all that stuff. Or a Rogue and His Dragon. That was a fun one too. And that was like when Hars was first getting his baby dragon and he was like taming it, and then a giant squid popped up and he was like, I'm gonna eat you. And they were like, hell no. And then then we killed it. It's better that I'm making it sound.
Calamari!
Squid! Okay, so
Okay. Proudest thing I've entered into Crown Quals. So, at one point, I was running for Regent.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do all the Crown Qual things for the first time. And I was really proud of the whole thing because I was able to crack down and make timetables and plans and checklists and just all of these things. And I got I qualled. I was so happy and so proud because it was a lot of hard work that actually I got to see come together. But as a part of that, I actually ended up kind of making different separate pieces of things to enter as separate crown quals that all sort of fit together. So one of the things was a painted toy castle. So I kind of painted it up, and it was supposed to be like Lord Talon's castle. And oh man, I can't remember. I think I painted the inside. I can't remember. It was a while ago and it broke. It shattered. It was sad. But so I made like the castle. I made little puppet people that represented people in Amtgard.
Wait, yes, I remember this.
Yeah. And I made, I'm trying to think if there was any, because those were two separate entries. There was the little puppet people, there was the castle. I'm trying to remember if I entered anything else based on this. But the pièce de résistance, the big, beautiful, bold part that tied it all together and slam dunked it, was I collaborated with Marcus with the permission of, Grim, with the permission of Talon to create a video about Marcus, I did it again, Grim, Vex, Nefara, and all screwing around with Talon's castle. And dragons. And it was so great. It was beautiful. And I love it. And I still have it. I still have it around here.
Yeah, I remember that was like one of the first things you showed me after we recorded our it was either our first or our second episode of the chopping block. And I love how like all of Nefara's lines were just bird calls.
Yes, screaming birds. I like the way I set it up too.
Just either like an angry crow or just like the toucan from George of the Jungle.
Yeah. I love the way I set it up too because I had it on my iPad, but I did some research to figure out like, okay, this is how you can actually lock a part of the iPad. So like you can use it for like slideshow presentations or videos or whatever, so that you don't have to actually unlock it. You just turn it on, but you can't leave that screen. So like,
no, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, another person can't kind of get into the iPad. They can just open it and push play, and there it goes. And I was like, that was just one more little piece that made it all come together. So nice for the presentation. It was great.
Sounded great. I mean, it looks great too. From when I did see it.
We about died laughing.
Freaking Grim playing Talon. That was so great.
Oh my god. How many accents did he use?
Enough.
It's like 3 or 4 different accents just evolving. And then finally it was like a southern evangelist.
Right. Oh my god, that's right.
It was really fun. I still have my puppet. I gave Talon and Nefara their puppets, and I believe I gave Grim his puppet. I don't think I have that one anymore either. That was so much fun. But yeah, I definitely recommend that for people who are doing quals and trying to like, or they, have to put a bunch of stuff in, is see what you can do to break your projects up and submit them separately. Mm-hmm. Because then, you're doing all the work for yourself. That was a piece of wisdom for you. That sounds so stupid. Yay!
Oh no, honestly, Vex, I think that was beautiful.
Yes! My charisma skill points are going up.
This is why you're the bard of the party, Vex.
You know what I am? I figured it out. I'm not the bard. I'm the peasant who is learning how to be a bard, but without a teacher. That's me.
She's doing her best, and that's what matters.
Woo!
Your best is always good enough.
Exactly.
I believe in you.
What about you, Ray? Did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
So, I guess I've never really needed to enter the Crown Quells, but my favorite sort of entry thing that I did for art's sake were my dragons. The first one I made was really fun, and then I made a larger one that I still, like, I've worn it 2 years in running at Ren Fair that has the big wings on it. And I'm still working on the best way to construct those wings. And I like that the larger one looks sort of gremlin-y. And I remember driving out to the event, and Kraken was driving, and he let me use one of his black latex gloves to do the final piece, which was the tongue that hangs out the side of, because I wanted to do the open mouth with the teeth. And I wanted it to look like a gremlin, but I also wanted it to look kind of derpy. And so it was a lot of fun. And I was really thrifty with it. Like, that huge dragon that I wear is actually made out of a faux fur coat. I found it like Value Village.
Nice.
Yeah, because it would have been really expensive to get that much fur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like faux fur. I use faux fur, but it still would have been really expensive. So and as a student, I've always been on like weird tight budgets. So I really love those things. I love the banner I made, but the silk dyeing is just a lot of work, and it's really expensive, so it's hard to keep up on easily. Whereas the dragons, I can do creative little things for fun with them, and I enjoy them.
I remember the hatching.
Yeah, that was a good time.
So much fun.
It was really, I can't remember if it was you or, like, I think somebody shrieked. And then Mara's like, it has a placenta! And I was trying so hard not to just bust up laughing.
Ah, the baby dragons.
So, our next question we got from Deli is, favorite specific event you've attended in Northreach? And for me, I think that would probably be, I mean, obviously it's gonna be a Wolf's Cry. I'm just trying to think of which one it was that, like, I really ended up hitting the hardest for me.
Oh, I can answer that.
No!
Hitting the hardest?
Zach.
You say?
Damn it! I walked right into that, too!
You did! It was wonderful!
Anyway. No, but actually the one I would choose would be the one 2 years ago. And that's when I first ended up getting my Paragon for Wizardry, because, it was, I got an award that I honestly didn't think I was going to get. I, when I was presented the award, I had, like, a hard swallow moment, and, I was also 21, so that was the first Wolf's Cry I was able to legally drink at. And so I understandably took advantage of it, and I celebrated until pretty much I couldn't celebrate no more. That was a good event. I think it was Wolf's Cry 2016? I want to say. Yeah, 2016.
I think I was all big old pregnant then.
Yeah, I think you were, actually.
Yeah. Beach ball belly. I didn't get to party with you. But I will this year.
I was gonna say, Wolf Cry's coming. We can do that
And
this year.
I did last year, and I will this year.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, God, that's right. We're gonna get to do the poppycock with Abram and Hunter again. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, Ray's gonna be able to join us for that one, too.
Yes.
So I'm doing something strange with Wolf's Cry this year. Like, I've always stayed the night out there. I'm going to be driving out both days.
Oh.
And I'm going to have probably Nugget in the car and then my kitten with me while I run the Assassin's game.
You have a kitten now?
Will be fun. Yes.
Yay!
Her name is Marshmallow, and she's adorable.
Aww.
But I've got a big tub for her that she travels in that's actually pretty easy and neat. It has her litter and her food and like a little bed.
Oh, cool.
So she'll sit with me while I run things.
That's great.
And then I'm driving in and out, so I can always put her and Nugget in the car if it gets too cold or rainy or something. And so instead of my big tent, I'm actually going to set up, I got one of those umbrellas, those sun umbrellas on sale. And it's bright red. It's beautiful. I'm excited. I'm excited to set everything up and see how it looks this year, because it might be way more like gypsy nomadic than it has in the past, I'm hoping. That's
excited.
what I'm hoping for.
That's so cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And in the true sort of trend of all my animal names, Omelet my dragon and Nougat my dog, the kitten is Marshmallow.
Ray do as Ray do.
It was sort of an accident. I got an accidental kitten.
Well, I mean, as Bob Ross says, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents.
She's definitely a happy accident.
Aww.
So, I don't want to end up... Before I forget, I don't want to skip over your guys' answer for the question on Northreach events.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say the only Solstice War that I went to is my favorite event that I've attended. Specifically because it was the first event I ever attended, and it was the first time I got to spend extended amounts of time with people outside of just battle games and Amtgard. So I got to I got to ride all the way to Fairbanks in a truck with Goran, Hadeland, Nefara, and Cinder. And, you know, I'd never really talked to these people at length before. And I was just kind of like, okay, this is gonna be nice. I like this. And it ended up being amazing. And it ended up being just the basis for some amazing friendships that started off. And then, yeah, the event itself, just getting to hang out with everybody. And, you know, freaking thunderstorms at 2 a.m. jugging was so wonderful. And just the whole experience was amazing. And, oh my gosh, the group that put that together did a really, really, really good job.
Yeah, that was, I actually want to say that was Rhapsody and Murdoch, so kudos to you guys.
Yeah, yep. And I know this was my first award that I got, was at this event. And I think I was the only person who got an award at the event. You and Nefara both got an award, I believe. Okay.
Yeah. But still, that's still pretty awesome.
Yeah. That was pretty mind-blowing for a newbie. The only huge regret I only have one. I wore jeans.
Oh, well.
My garb was not complete yet.
I mean, you still have...
So...
Did you still have the Oktoberfest thing back then?
I did.
Okay, good.
That was cool. With the big group picture, I'm standing there with my Oktoberfest dress and blue jeans. So it makes me cringe a little bit, but at least I tried.
Like I said, you do your best.
Yeah.
So what about you, Ray? What was your big event?
So I've loved all the events for various reasons. I think my favorite was honestly my first Wolf's Cry, but it's interesting because I volunteered to run the Assassin's game because I had an idea about it. Like, I had this idea that an Assassin's game shouldn't be an extended tournament. It should be about actually, like, being a clever assassin, right? And so I spoke with Talon about it and we brainstormed things. And so it's weird for me because it's the only event where, like, I didn't have a lot of time to partake in all the other things that go on at an event. But at the same time, I was new to Northreach in the last, like, year and a half or so, and I'd missed the first Wolf's Cry. And so it was the first time I started to get to know everybody from so many different parks, because all the people that signed up were from all the different parks. And so, like, while they were learning each other's names, I was learning their names, and I was getting to hear their stories and watch them, like, and the ways they would problem solve, like, getting their opponent, and like how excited people would get about things. And it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And just the feedback was all super positive and super amazing and gave me great ideas for the next year. And so it's weird because it's like my favorite event is the event that I usually don't get to go do all the things at because I'm busy, like, coordinating an extended thing. But it's also, like, the thing where I get to see the most faces and, like, I get the most face time with so many different people. And I also get to see all these stories play out. And so that just makes it beautiful for me.
Nice.
Love it. All right. Well, this next one he asked was, how was Clan? But I didn't go to Clan. You guys go to Clan?
Yes.
I went to Clan last year. Does that count?
Little bit.
Wait, Vex, you went to Clan this year?
No.
Oh, well on.
I've been to Clan. I didn't go to Clan this year or last year, but I went to Clan the year before that.
Yeah. I know, I said I was kind of talking a big game saying I was going to this year, but, you know, I went through a move that went anything but smoothly, so,
Ooh.
I was pretty financially tapped by the time we got all that sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well, I guess to sort of switch it up, we can go down to this one with Razor, and he asks, is there a possibility of doing a special episodes in the future, should someone of particular note come along wanting to do one? In all honesty, probably not. At least not for me anyway, because that's a lot of time for me to, like, sort of dedicate between, like, scheduling, recording, and editing and all that. Plus, I don't like doing this solo if I can help it, so I'd like to do it with either one of my two co-hosts here, and both of them have lives, you know? Not to put you guys on a plate for this or anything, but yeah.
What's a life?
I should put it like this: not a life, but a career.
Career student.
But yeah, I mean, maybe, like, if we had that once in a blue moon chance to, like, actually try something with Sir Goldcrest, I'll give you guys a shout, but yeah. So anyway, back to
I
Jelly.
realize now people will start this weird petition. Like, bring the chopping block back. We need you, Goldcrest, or else it's going away forever.
Oh, man. Alright, so... Oh, this one, he asks, got any international Amtgard crushes? And for me, personally,
Yes!
I have two. And that would be, one being... Oh, I guess three. One being Sir Goldcrest, because, you know, I got to meet him not last... 3 years ago during Dungeon Crawl, and he was hosting a panel for Amtgard Leadership University. And he asked me, like, he didn't know who I was at all, but, like, he got recommendations through, I think it was Hadeland at the time, whoever was, like, in charge of the Principality, and asked me to help with a booth for setting up battle games alongside Abram and Rosedath. And I got to talk with him and Sursane a little bit after that, and he's a really cool guy. And plus, you know, every time I see his garb, like, I feel myself eroding away just because of how majestic it is. Like, anyone who's seen Sir Goldcrest, you know what I'm talking about. He's just like, it's a thing of beauty.
Every detail.
Another one
put together.
Yeah. Another one would be Sir Randall, because, you know, come on, who doesn't love Sir Randall besides the Unmod page? No, actually, no, I shouldn't even say the Unmod page, because that's not, they don't even really talk about him so much as they do either Bane or Brennan. But, you know, that's a can of worms I'm not opening right now. And my last one would be Azrael Jade, because she's just been fantastic, like, every interaction I've had with her. Like, Wolf's Cry, hanging out with her was a ton of fun, and then when we got to interview her on the chopping block, it was just as good then. And yeah, so those would probably be my three.
And women with attitudes. So tell me, Jet, why do we have all three?
I'm a little bit confused by this question. Because when I first read International Amtgard Crushes, I immediately assumed, like, outside the United States of America, and I was like,
Who's been going to Croatia? That's the international chapter, isn't it?
yeah.
There's like
We got chapters
some
in
of them.
Canada, right?
Maybe. We have some in Japan, I know that much, because
Yeah.
we have a lot of military set up there.
But I don't know anybody there.
Okay, but I love everybody in Japan on principle then.
Oh, well, there you go.
Crushes is also a difficult word for me because I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean I want to go on a date with them, like a hangout, or I want to like pursue them romantically, or does it mean like, is it more like a squish where it's like I just want to hang out with you all the time, or I don't understand the intention.
I mean,
of
it's
this
like
question.
how I feel about you, Vex. And I'll leave you to decide whichever one of those you want it to be.
I'm satisfied. I already know the answer to that, and I'm satisfied with it. Yay!
I think it can be anything you interpret to be.
The beauty
And I
of
think
Right?
international means like inter-kingdomal.
Oh.
Kingdominal.
Yeah.
So I guess any like Amtgard crushes you would have here, those wouldn't count. Just the ones outside specifically.
So I
Yeah, I
can't
don't know.
say Vex.
I don't know. Because
Alas,
every
Hars
time.
and Ray's love is that of a forbidden one.
Well, yeah, you're in the same family. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
What?
Well, I guess the Lannister always pays his debt, huh?
ruined it. I ruined it.
Nope, never.
Okay, like,
You take that, George R.R. Martin, elsewhere. J.R. Tolkien.
yeah, I'll put it. Well, I mean, it's already somewhere elsewhere because it sure as hell ain't at the writing table.
You know what? Speaking of that, just this last week, I decided I'm giving up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I have been holding out for the books to finish. I wanted to read them. I have been reading these books since I was 14. Nobody
dear.
would read them with me because they were too big and there were too many characters. Those were the excuses I constantly got. So I had to fangirl all by myself. And then the show came out and I was really excited. I was really happy because it seemed like it was very well put together. Costumes were out of this world. The actors were amazing, even though, of course, you know, the book nerd part of me is like, wow, this percentage of people are supposed to be so much uglier than what's in the show. But, like, you can't have ugly people in the show. But, like, so it turned into this bitterness, this growing bitterness, like, okay, I'm waiting, and everyone else gets to do their fanning, and I'm just gonna sit here and wait for the books, and they getting pushed off, and finally I was just like, you know what? I think it was the headline. I saw that they got 22 Emmy nominations, and I was just like, that's it. I'm done. I'm gonna watch this show.
Have you started yet?
No. I'm working on My Hero Academia first, and then I'm either gonna watch Game of Thrones or Westworld. I haven't decided which one.
I would personally say
Westworld.
Westworld first, just because there's a lot less to get through compared to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, there's only like 1, maybe 2 seasons out now. Has the second season come out yet?
I think it
think
just
so.
came out, but it's so incredible.
Yeah. It's very... It reminds me a lot of BioShock, actually.
I'll watch that. But yeah, sorry. That was a really personal, like, festering.
I'm sorry if I accidentally brought that out of you, Vex.
I'm happy to share. I'm just not sure if everyone's happy to be shared with.
All right. I guess this next one we got from Deli is.
Hey, I didn't answer my crushes.
I
I
thought
have
you.
people all lined up.
All right, go right ahead, Ray.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to call out because when I went to Clan last year, everybody was incredible. Like I loved everybody. It was so cool to like get out and play games and meet like all these different people. And doing the women's tournament was fantastic. I definitely have some crushes on some of those women. Like they are amazing fighters and like they just work their tails off to be amazing, and I admire that. I also made friends with Nine. It's Darren. I can't remember if he's Monkey's Squire or he's in Monkey's family and group. And he's been just a really great friend, like outside of Amtgard. Like it was really cool getting to know him. He gave me a couple sword tips when I was there at Clan that were super helpful for me. Like just he broke down these tips and made it like super easy for me to incorporate in how I've been trying to fight with, Florentine, because I am by no means a fighter. I go out there with a lot of throwing things because I'm not usually a fighter. So I've been trying to improve a little bit on my sword game. There was this one woman at the Bardic who sang this beautiful song. I won't give everybody's names just because that's too much, but she sang this beautiful song about like a pirate ship and this pirate, or this captain and this ship, and the ship was in love with the captain, and how the ship's heart is broken when the captain falls in love with like a real person, and then like the ship drives like the whole crew into the storm and they become this haunted ship. It was amazing and eerie by firelight with everybody surrounding it. And then like there's this one archer that she was incredible. Like I think she broke a finger while she was out there, and she kept playing and was just on point. Like she was nailing people left and right. She was a great aim, and she was this no nonsense, like just awesome woman. And then like all the women that when you stumble into the bathroom like early in the morning, and like everybody's just so sweet and like complimenting each other, and just the atmosphere and the spirit was really great. And I was so glad to like go to an inter-kingdom, like what I guess not inter-kingdom, but like an inter-kingdom event like that, where you get to just run into so many different people and connect with Amtgard outside of Alaska. I think it gave some real perspective about it here. And so like I would say I have a crush on just all those people. Like they're just amazing, wonderful people. There's one woman who's super tall and she played warrior and she was amazing at it, and she had like all these colorful like weapons and shields and stuff. Like you would have loved her, Vex. Like anyways, it was just I don't know, it was just amazing.
Beautiful.
Aww.
Okay. So this next one we got is favorite episode to host and favorite episode to watch. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little tough for me, because, like, I think it was Mini Bard, like season 1 Mini Bard, where like we started to like get like sort of our niche about how we wanted to like do these things. And like the conversations we had were really fun, because like I think we were talking about stuff like how do scientists try out bugs that like these rare species of bugs. They like blow up trees or something. I remember it was like something along those lines, but and then I would like be swapping fair stories, and I think that's kind of where we first like actually started figuring out like how to like tail your lightning round into things too, Vex.
Yeah.
Like I'd say that would be my favorite one to host. My favorite one to listen to would probably be Abram's. Abram was really fun.
I don't know if I have any good answers for those questions. Your answer was very good, and it really reflects the way I feel, because I was able to do the first season along with you, and that's really kind of how it went. Was, we had a couple sort of what are we really doing here sort of episodes, and how does this feel, and stuff like that. But then once we hit Deli and Mini Bard, it was like, oh, okay.
We got this.
We got this. And watch? I don't know, it's fun to hear people talk.
I know Randall's was pretty fun too. So, kind of I guess we can call that one my runner-up to Abram.
I think my favorite was doing the one where I came to your house and we were talking with Mara. Just
That was
because
a
it was
fun one.
neat actually getting to do it in the same space rather than from our respective homes. And I was also working on one of my little blog entries that I'll put up at some point about what the chopping block was and kind of what, the different members of Amtgard are doing to like promote communication like within our group for anybody who's interested in our group. So I got some neat footage for that. And then obviously the best one to listen to is all of them. Everybody should sit down and listen to every single one. And then share it with your friends. And then share those ones with all your friends that are Amtgarders in other kingdoms. And then really the chopping block should just be famous throughout Amtgard.
Oh, I can dig that.
Totally.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
Alright. So the next one is, how spicy do you like your salsa? Mild, medium, hot, or Abram? It's not even a serious question. Abram, obviously.
Hellfire Inferno? Like, Abrams isn't that hot.
Mine's mild.
You're just kind of biased. You're just biased towards Sierra.
Bring
Well,
on the heat. 1v1 me in real life with salsa, bro. I'll eat it.
I will watch.
Alright.
I'll have the little flag. I'll have the little flag in the middle. Ready, set, go!
Okay. I'm actually going to answer this one last, so I'll let you guys take this next one, and that is, what Northreach members would be in your ideal D&D group?
Uh-oh.
Hars and Bex. Obviously Talon. Wait a second. Wait a second. This has been done before. Sorry, I cut in front of everybody. Go ahead.
I think Vex is doing a thing right now. But, I guess while we wait for her, I'd say mine would probably be just my belt house plus Vex. My belt family is pretty sweet.
So, I don't answer this question. Because there's so many people that I would want in my D&D group. But it's really like, because you get into Amtgard, and it's a social occasion. Like, we all come together to do this thing. So then we all kind of like naturally migrate towards people and get crushes on people and like start sticking together with people and working with people on projects. And I'm just like, can I collect all of them?
Right? I want to clone the people that I am connecting with and meeting because they're all amazing and wonderful. Make 1 million of them and then fill the world with them.
I can dig that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm always telling people that, and I get a range of looks from like, that's a weird aspiration to want to fill the world with just like a small number of personalities, to wait, she's a scientist, she might actually be able to do this and be planning this. For the record, the answer is the latter.
Yeah.
We'll accept DNA donations.
Yep. Yes. Send them to Ray's doorstep.
Also known as the Best Buy parking lot.
Honestly, I've seen weirder things in a Best Buy parking lot. So, yeah.
Walmart parking lot?
Weirder.
Walmart Midtown.
Weirder.
Listen, don't make me go to the cars on, like, New Seward Highway or whatever that is.
Oh, on Gamble, you mean? Yeah, no, we don't go
Yeah.
there. We don't talk about that place.
That's like the dark zone, like from The Lion King with the hyenas.
We must never go there. I remember back when, like, Anchorage spawned its first meme page on Facebook, and that was, like, one of the first ones there. Like, what about that shadowy place? That is cars on Gamble, Simba. We must never go there. God. Oh, so looking back, any regrets about the chopping block? So, I do have one. And that is when we were starting off on Season 2, originally Vex and I wanted to do, like, these live-action skits before, like, some of the Kingdom Top 5. And, you know, we just needed time to, like, actually film. Like, we had them all scripted out and everything. We just never really had time to film them, which made me really sad, because I would have loved to see them, like, just as like a teaser to each episode. So that's my one regret with the show. Other than that, I wouldn't change a thing.
I guess my only regrets are the times when I didn't have an energy drink. I settled for coffee.
Preach it, sister.
So I didn't have that extra hyper edge.
Vextra hyper?
Vextra hyper. Oh god.
What about you, Ray? You got any regrets being on the show so far?
I regret everything. No. No. It was a really fun adventure. I'm kind of like, I'm not necessarily a hobbit, but I'm definitely like that scene of Bilbo, like, running from the Shire. Like, I'm going on an adventure.
Alright, well, I guess with that... Oh, we have one more here. And that is, favorite question you've asked someone on this show. And Vex, I'm going to sort of parrot you on this one, and that is, what is your favorite snack?
What's my favorite snack? Oh, lately it's been homestyle popcorn. So it's this popcorn that has a little tiny bit of butter and a little tiny bit of salt, and it's so perfect. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I mean, like, it's asking what your favorite question you've asked someone on this show was, and for me, that one was my favorite question. Honorable mentions would also include, like, you know, where were you the day we became a kingdom? Like, what happened? Like, what got you into Amtgard? Things like that.
Oh, I just understood the fact that you weren't directly asking me that question. Oops.
It's cool. I liked that answer.
It was a good answer,
something
Vex.
great and new.
I also like it because I can share it with my kids and my dogs.
I also like snacks.
What is Ray's favorite flavor of snacks? Snack flavored.
Every snack.
What What is your favorite snack? You can only answer one. How the hell dare you? Where did you get off?
You don't know my life.
You don't know what my snacks have been through.
You're not my father. I don't know. I guess that's my favorite question too.
Well, I mean, if nobody else has anything, then that's pretty much it as far as the given questions go. So, alright, so I have a proposal
What
if
is
we want
a
to...
fire round? That was a question. Can Vex and Ray do a fire round?
Lightning round.
Lightning round.
Okay.
Could
So I have a
mine be
proposal.
fire?
Fiery, lightningly,
Okay.
blitzy
Blaze
round.
of glory.
Okay, Ray, you can be the fire round. I'll be the ice round. So I'll be the one that cools everything off after everything's done.
Wait, but I actually kind of want to be the air round.
Are you just gonna blow into the microphone? Is that the
Anyway.
air round?
Okay. Okay. So, alright, how this is gonna work though is if we're gonna be lightning rounding each other, we all have to answer the questions that we ask. That sound good?
Okay.
Alright.
What is a lightning round?
Buzz.
This is pretty well, normally it's kind of where I let my respective co-hosts go off their leash and just ask whatever they want. So, in this case, it would kind of be like, we'll do two each. Sound good?
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, well, Vex, since this has typically been your thing first, I'll let you start us off.
Oh. What is your favorite garb color combination outside of your own?
Oof, outside of my own. I would have to say, so for those of you who don't know mine's typically like either blue is like a triage of black, blue, and silver. So outside of mine would be, I kind of like the combo of purple and black. I mean, I'm a little biased because I was one of the main founders of Ravenstone, but I do like that color combination, like purple, black, and maybe silver too.
I like all the rainbow ones. I don't
You
feel like
ninja,
I
you.
would be myself or a ninja very well if I were rainbow, but I love all the rainbow ones, like with hot pink and fluorescent green and like teddy bears
Yes.
and rainbows and Unikitty. I love the Unikitty on Hadlin's belt. Like, I love everything with all the color.
So,
And there was this one time at Ren Fair that I almost bought this super, like, so I make a point of not wearing dresses because you can't run well in them, or at least I can't. I would kill myself. But I almost bought this yellow and green, like, Ren Fair peasant dress combo with, like, this corset that had, like, awesome gold trim and then, like, sunflowers or flowers across it, but it was green, like over the yellow, like shifty dress, and I was like, I kind of felt like Kaylee in Firefly, you know, when she sees the big pink dress. Like, I was just like, I have nothing to wear that to, but I love it.
Yay. I don't know the answer to my own question. Contrasts are really fun, but I love when I just love it so much when you can see a figure across the field and you know who it is based on the primary color that pops out at you. It's so fun.
yeah, I agree.
I love that. I love that about Amtgard. We get to make up our own names, and we get to pick our colors, and we get to just, like, live in them.
I
for a
know
little
it's
bit.
not a garb color, but I also really have to say that, like, I love armor. I love armor on everybody.
Yes.
Like,
And
armor
layers.
makes everyone beautiful.
Yes.
I don't even get it. It's like this magic charisma bonus to literally anyone who just puts it on.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, a knight in shining armor hasn't seen battle yet.
Oh, I don't care if it's shining. It just has to be metal. With like, it could be leather, but I really love metal and chainmail. Like, there was nothing like seeing that like onion ring circle of steel that was being led at 2016 Wolf's Cry Guild Wars.
Yeah.
Like, that was a beautiful thing, and I always like fangirl over it whenever it comes up.
Ray, you want to take the next one?
Ask a question?
Yeah.
What is your favorite snack?
Okay, so for me,
it's okay to say how dare you.
so mine would be I can't remember what this program was I was subscribed to for a while. It's like this program where you pay like $15 a month and you like choose 4 different like snack foods that they send you to your door like every month. I don't remember what it was called, but one of the things I would always get from them is like these little mini Belgian waffles, and they were so cute and they were so good. I loved them. So for me, it would be the mini Belgian waffles.
That's so adorable. If my savory is lightly flavored popcorn, my sweet would be York peppermint patties, or just like dark chocolate peppermint candy. Nom, 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 nom.
My list just goes on. My favorite snack food is snack food. I really love chips and salsa, but then once I start there, I just devolve into literally everything.
Okay, Vex, since you mentioned a sweet and a savory, my savory would probably be Cheez-Its. I like Cheez-Its.
Okay, if I have to pick, 7-layer dip is my favorite, like, savory, and then
man.
Peanut butter chocolate, just about anything as my sweet. Although Costco has this like trail mix that doesn't have raisins in it, and all it is like peanut butter and chocolate and butterscotch chips and stuff, and I love that. Love it.
Yeah, I think you brought that during our trip to Solstice Wars.
I did. I love it. Now I want to go get some.
Alright, oh, I didn't even think of what I was gonna ask.
You don't think, you just go!
Okay, what's one guest you guys would have wanted to see for a part of the show, or bring back if you could? Like...
Talon!
Yeah!
Okay, that's fair.
Talk about a historical reference. sorry, salt mine. But yeah, I agree.
Okay, we all agree Talon then?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite fictional book?
Ooh. Is it cheating to say The Princess Bride? Because I feel like that's cheating.
No, that's not cheating.
Okay, well I'm gonna leave that off the table for now. But favorite fiction, I would say was Holes.
Oh, Holes. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to translate that in my head.
Yeah, like you never did say it had to be like epic fantasy.
Oh yeah, no, I just said fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Ray?
So, growing up, my grandpa read The Hobbit to me, and when I think about just about any hero ever, like, or I think about what my ideal of a hero is, it's always someone like Bilbo that's like, it's not that they're not afraid, it's that they stand up, they're there for their friends, and they do what's right even when they're most afraid, and even when they probably won't win or succeed, because just because you won't succeed doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, and they're always kind, and they're always good listeners, and caring and understanding. Like, heroes like that are too few in the world, and so I really love The Hobbit, like, for that reason, because I feel like on a very basic level, if you follow Bilbo's kind of journey through that whole thing, he deals with every challenge he faces with honesty, and he's genuine in who he is, and he's also so steadfast and so kind, and I admire that a lot.
Oh, actually, I can't believe it took me this long to realize it, but I'd say probably my favorite, like, book, like, series-wise, would be the Dresden Files.
I do love the Dresden Files. Dresden does something similar with that, where he will often make similar choices, and I find that really cool. Plus, he's funny while doing it.
See, I didn't really realize it till now, like, writing a lot of my roleplay with Hars, but I realize now that I took a lot from Dresden when I was writing for him. Like, you know, his, like, having a fallen angel living in his system, and meeting his apprentice under, like, controversial circumstances. You know, one being, like, you know, a friend of his, like, a family member of one of his closest friends, and in Hars's case, like, his apprentice trying to kill him in a very Sith-like mentality. But yeah, Dresden as a character I like because he fully admits that, like, relatably for me is, I understand that the mentality I have on a lot of things, like, you know, whether it's people or just certain ways of thinking in general, aren't great, but they have a use. Like, and that's kind of like his ultimate takeaway lesson with him a lot of the time is, like, stick to what you know best and you'll be able to at least have, like, that optimism to, like, actually get what you need to do done. If that makes sense. Oh, wait a minute, I just realized Vex didn't answer her own question.
She didn't.
Well, we'll badger her about it when she gets back.
Okay.
So, Vex, we just realized you didn't answer your question.
Yes, that's what I was doing. I was running out to my bookshelf real quick to double check and make sure I was answering correctly. So my favorite fictional book is called The Tough Guide to Fantasyland by Diana Wynne Jones. It's the same author that wrote Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh.
And what it is it's a guidebook. It's like a encyclopedia type of guidebook where you look through the alphabetically sorted entries, and, like, there's one for crystal, there's one for crystal ball, there's one for cups, and it's all set in a tourism-based fantasy world where the tourists basically embark on an excursion to go defeat the Dark Lord, and, like, these are all the things you can expect to find in your journey, and these are all the rules about it.
It's like The Witch and the Wombat. The Witch and the Wombat was kind of like that too.
I gotta read that. But I have been, in all my years of writing stories, since I was 8 or 9, one kind of story I keep returning to constantly is, what is my fantasy world like my special little dream world where it's like I can go and I can have adventures and I can create all these characters to play with and stuff like that. And this book was very, very, very heavily influential on that because it's so freaking fun. Just the way it has all these rules. Like, these are all the rules and all the definitions that you have to keep in mind when you come into this, in contact with this. And, like, you know, this certain scenario is something you will definitely run into, and it's great. Like this one. Okay, I'll read one entry. Children are not commonly found on a tour. If a child appears and seems to wish to take part, be very wary. He or she is likely to be either a god or the missing heir to a kingdom. In either case, this will make the child unpredictable and capricious. He or she will unquestionably involve you in a great deal of trouble. See Thieves' Guild for the only exception to this rule. I love this book.
Wow, that's surprisingly close to home. Wow.
Yeah, it definitely it's a satire about epic fantasies.
I kind of want this book
Very
now.
much. It's so great. I will let people borrow it as long as you give it back. And it's got the old book smell too, I just realized. Oh, so good. Who's got the next question?
I think it's me.
I think it is you, Ray.
Yes!
All right. So, if you were to randomly be transported anywhere in time or into any like fictional type universe, like, you know, all those stories where people get like sucked in, like who would you want to be transported with? It doesn't even have to be people you know. You could just like list off archetype people, and like what type of world would you be transported to? Like, and what would be your adventure like, if that makes sense? Or you don't even have to bring people with you. You could be like, it'll just be me, and I will become like Conan the Barbarian.
I can't really choose. I can't really choose any kind of anime themed world, because everything in like most anime worlds are like horrifying when you really get down to the bare principles of them.
Weird. The
Like-
theme of anime is weird.
No, like I couldn't go to the world of.
core.
I couldn't go to the world of Dragon Ball Z because, you know, I'd live in a world that's getting blown up and then rebuilt like every couple of weeks. I couldn't go in the world of what was it? One Piece, because, you know, I'm basically just either trapped on an island, or I can like forego my ability to swim for a power that I may or may not even like. And then I couldn't live in the world of Hunter x Hunter because I'd live in a world where chimera ants are real, and I can't do that. I just can't do that. I'm not gonna answer with Pokemon because I feel like that's cheating. Because let's be real, that's the best world to get sucked into. But, Actually, no, yeah, I would probably say Pokemon. I'm gonna be that guy. Only difference is I would actually try and like climb to the top and become like the next Team Rocket Syndicate. I'm Italian,
But
it'll work.
You bring like our world mafia mentality to
Exactly.
the Pokemon world.
It's like, no, don't kidnap their Pokemon. Shoot them, then take their Pokemon. Seriously, you guys are adults.
This
you
is
have
called
guns.
a gun. We are not going to rely on this dogfighting shit anymore. We are going to be weaponized. We are going to be organized.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. So villainous. I don't know what I would do. The only thing that I'm gung-ho about, heck yeah, I'd do it, is like the world that I made up. My little bubble world. Because it's super fun. I'll bring anybody with me to that. Dude, it'll be like my vacation home. Like, hey, you want to go to my little bubble fantasy world and have adventures? Like, holy crap. There's, like, baby krakens that eat marshmallows off of when you throw them off a sea cliff. And there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that guards the enchanted forest next to my seaside cottage.
Does he
and
talk?
No, he doesn't talk.
Oh.
But he likes being scratched under the chin.
Good
And yeah, my sidekick is a anthropomorphic gray fox. And she's got an attitude.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So it would be one where you could like come and go when you want, and you could explore and bring whoever you want.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what I would do. I was thinking like that's the start of every like kind of fun story or plot. That, or when you find an item that seems mundane but it turns out to be super magical. I think those stories are fun too. I don't know. I always like the idea of doing it with people that you really end up hitting it off with over the course of, the adventure. Like either people you're close to and it brings you closer together, or new people that you just connect to that you didn't expect, a la Breakfast Club, but sci-fi fantasy version. I like it whenever there's like fantasy and tech kind of combined together. And I've been watching way too many K-dramas where people get sucked into like the Joseon era or all these different time periods and historical like K-drama type topics. And so that's what spawned the question. So, yeah.
This is kind of reminding me of the anime where a kid dies and he's talking to God and God is like, you know what? That was total my bad and you were not supposed to die at all. So I can reincarnate you, but I can't put you back in your world. I have to put you back in this new world, but I can grant you one wish. And the kid's like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but like, can I just have my cell phone? So I guess to go to this new fantasy world with a cell phone.
Oh God. I was about to say, until you mentioned the cell phone, that sounded like a lot of different anime.
I know! But that was my favorite part of the whole... I only saw the first episode, but that was my favorite part, when God was like, that was my bad. Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't actually supposed to let you die.
Well. Yeah. God, what do I have for our final question? What I can't even ask any like endorsing questions because I think we've already been asked like what some of your favorite things were to do on the show were and everything. So, Well, I guess I can kind of ask everyone things. So, what are your guys' plans after we're done with this show?
I'm either going to watch an episode of My Hero Academia with my husband, because we're watching it together, or I'm going to watch an episode of Is It Okay to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon by myself.
Is that fun? I've been wanting to watch that.
I've been hearing,
It's fun. I love what they did with the gods and goddesses. They're so fun. But it's really nice. And there's actually a lot of armor ideas that I'm getting from there, if I ever actually get around to armoring. Yeah, it's a fun show. Or if I don't want to do that, I'll play Portal again, because I played it last week. And my last login date was 2012, and I don't know how that's possible. But at the same time, I totally understand how that's possible.
I'd just like to note that this can either be like what do you plan on doing immediately after this episode is done recording, or just in general.
I don't really have in general Amtgard plans right now, except for going to Wolf's Cry. And having a kick-ass time with wonderful people.
True. I can't wait for that. Wolf's Cry's gonna be great.
You know what I'm most excited about? You know what I'm most excited about?
What's that, Vex?
Being a dirty, filthy peasant again. I love it so much.
Oh my god.
I might even sign up as peasant this year.
I love the hate that we get.
I know.
It's great.
And I do need to up my peasant credits, so
I don't know, Ray. I'm sure I think the Assassin's Guild might actually need an extra hand for Guild Wars. You'd be a good leader for that.
Or I could be a true assassin and be blended with the peasants and no one will know. As I run around and just do peasanty things anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
I need to come up with a gimmick for this year. Last year was protest signs. This year's got a new gimmick. Gotta think about it.
We should create bipartisan politics where we're arguing over which person should be our new king.
Yeah, just have someone come in and is like, but we already
Like-
have a king that's coming in. I didn't vote for him!
Like, you should have signs that just, like, are made up things about Hunter and why you can't vote for him, and I'll have signs that are made up things for the other dude and why you can't vote for him.
Didn't Hunter drop out though?
Yeah, he did.
Valerian, yes.
Yeah, he did.
Aww. It's just
Dang.
well, we'll still do it. That'll make it funnier.
Oh wait, no, have them all be about Hunter. Wait, no, actually no, yeah, probably bipartisan. I was gonna say, I just realized that might be dangerous, but
I
yeah.
mean, it'd be kind of funny if we accidentally encouraged lots of people to vote for Hunter when he's not running.
Oh man.
Well, Ray, what about you?
What I'm doing when I get off?
Yeah.
I've been doing Assassin's game planning, kind of, to get the ball rolling on that. I have a few clever ideas, and I realize there are some people I'm incorporating this year, and so I need to kind of figure out what I want to do with them. Like, we've already brainstormed it, so I have an idea behind it, but I have to do a write-up for the people that are involved.
Right.
Just to make sure they're still actively going to be available to be involved, and then also to make sure they can cover, like, whatever task they have.
Mm-hmm.
So... and I should have that by like Tuesday or Wednesday. I've already talked to everybody, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to make sure it's kind of ironed out.
Okay.
So I've been going over that stuff the last couple of days, figure out what I need to do, because I'll have to take care of the printing stuff and yeah.
Well,
Can I
guess
do a
that's-
brief plug on the Assassin's game?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
This year it will be different hours for anybody that listens to this before this weekend. I'm trying something out because I noticed it. I'm driving in and out, so this should help a little bit with that. But then B, I noticed that a lot of people get up a little bit earlier than I expected on Saturdays. And then on top of that, a lot of people don't arrive until later on Fridays. So I've shifted the hours around a little bit to give time to announce the winner before the feast, to make it run later on Friday and start earlier on Saturday, but also start a little bit later on Friday to give more people time to get out there. And I'm also not doing pre-sign-ups, but I think I'm going to encourage people to sign up by submitting like a role play entry. Like they enter it on the role play page that we have for any benefits for that. So,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
just to encourage a little bit of order at the facade.
Ooh. So I guess on that note, Hunter actually just posted a teaser for the prize he's working on for the Assassin's game.
I am excited about this.
It
I'm
looks
also
pretty sweet, actually.
I'm also working on approval to actually make it a relic for a year.
Ooh.
So fingers crossed. It all depends on what's going on with the rain theme and everything else. But it'd be really cool if yearly it was like the people could keep the dagger forever, but they get a year ability on it. Like it's a charged ability that goes away once the next person gets their new dagger.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? The next year. So that's kind of an idea that we've been kicking around and talking about. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
All right then. Well, I guess to sort of answer mine, mine's a little bit more general than like what I'm gonna do now. Because after this, I'm probably just gonna go like eat a sandwich or something after we're done here. But so for a more general answer, I'm gonna actually start focusing a little bit more feverishly on getting into voice acting, like on a professional level. So
Nice.
So I guess I may as well share this story too, because that's kind of like I wasn't always into this for a while because, you know, just life, depression, and all that stuff happened. Because I wanted to get into it back as far as I was like 15 or something, like back when I was still in high school. And you know, I was into it for a while until I eventually graduated, and then you know, between getting my own place, working all the time, going to college, And, you know, just going through a ton of, like, real-life stuff, like depression, all that stuff. I was diagnosed bipolar that same year, and, you know, a lot of stuff happened that year, pretty much, and I fell off of it for the longest time. And, you know, during the last couple years, I had been spending a lot of time just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, like, just kind of in that state of limbo. And, SenchiCon was actually kind of where I got that spark kicked back into me. And for those of you who aren't watching, who don't know what SenchiCon is like our big local anime convention that we have here. And we get like occasional big name guests coming up here. And this last year we had Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who people who are fans of anime would probably know her best as the Major from Ghost in the Shell. She was in, I think she was Olivia Armstrong in not Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist. She was Julia in Cowboy Bebop. And we also got Steve Bloom, who people would probably know best as, like, you know, he was Wolverine from a lot of X-Men content, he was Spike from Cowboy Bebop, Tom from Toonami, and just a whole bunch of other things. And while I adore Mary, Steve has been pretty much my voice acting idol for close to a decade now. And when I was in line to get autographs from the both of them, their tables were lined with prints and stuff, like, that they would sell to you, and they would sign it for no charge. You'd just be paying for the prints, pretty much. And, so, you know, I had them both sign my copy of Cowboy Bebop. First off, they're both incredibly nice people. And, like, when I was, I just kind of made, like, an offhand comment when I had Steve Bloom signing my, DVD copy. And I just said, yeah, I gotta admit it. At first I thought, like, Braxton was just joking about you being a guest here, and I thought, okay, either this is real, or you're just trying to kill me via a heart attack. And he's just like, oh, how do you know Braxton? And I go, well, I used to volunteer for the convention a few years back, so we go back quite a bit. And he goes, oh, so you're sort of part of the family? And I go, yeah, although kind of a distant family nowadays. But anyway, you've been a huge inspiration for, like, my voice acting and, like, initially getting me off the ground to get started. And he goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. You take one of these prints, and I'll sign it no charge. And I was just like, wait, really? And he goes, yeah, if you're part of the family, you can be part of my family too. Just promise me you will keep going with your voice acting. And I'm just like, wow, thanks. And mind you, that's what I'm saying out loud. Inside, I'm just kind of going like... and... You know, so I ended up getting it was a print of Makoto Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin. And I had him sign that, and you know, to anybody else, probably even to Steve himself, this probably just seemed like a thoughtless bit of kindness on his part, but to me it was like an insanely hard hit of inspiration. And fast forwarding to a little bit later in the day, I ended up having a fight with, I was part of the cosplay chest, and I ended up having, like, sort of a stage fight with, I was Soldier 76, and he was Reaper from Overwatch, and we did, like, this pre-recorded thing that we would essentially act over, and it would, like, play over, like, overhead on a speaker. And I did the voice of both Soldier 76 and kind of the game show host that was, like, running the event. And, you know, after both our pieces died, we were just kind of sitting in the back waiting for everything else to finish up. And Kira Buckland, who who was like a longtime friend and sort of voice mentor, who had done things like she's 2B in Nier Automata, she's Trucy Wright from Phoenix Wright, and she's like Edna from Tales of Zestiria. And I've always looked up to her as like sort of a role model and a mentor. And she'd come back to me and she was just telling me how great my voice acting was throughout this whole thing, and I honestly just didn't know how to react. So like, because again, like with Steve, this is probably just another bit of kindness on her part, but you know, to get like that kind of like endorsement from like two different people I've respected and admired for years now, it was a hard hit of inspiration. So I've been like actively pursuing like this independent voice acting forum that she and I both used pretty regularly and still use now. And Steve Bloom himself actually started hosting like voice acting workshops that I've been taking pretty regularly too. And so I've been like pretty actively pursuing my career in voice acting and even doing some of my own projects. So, I guess the short answer is, I'll be doing a lot more voice-related work in the future. I guess is what I'm trying to round this all back to. God, how long was I going on that for? I went on a tangent there. Oh, man. Oh, geez, we've been at this for God, almost 2 hours now.
Yes.
Yep. Well. Oh, did we lose Ray?
No, I'm here.
Okay, it said you were like your thing was glowing like you were talking, but it wasn't like it was like fizzing in and out, so I wasn't sure. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for the show then. So I guess for all of you who've been watching up to this point that actually stuck around, thank you all for watching the show. It's been a blast, like just this last year. And Vex, Ray, I don't know what else I can say. You guys have been great co-hosts, great friends, and you guys have just been a great addition to the show. So thank you both.
Thank you. You're super great too, and this
you.
was an amazing idea of yours.
Well, I'm glad you could be a part of it. So, again, thank you everybody who's been watching up to this point, and, well, this is the end, beautiful friends. After more than a year, this is the Chopping Block's final broadcast. It's been a lot of fun, and we'd like to thank each and every one of you who made the journey with us. The Chopping Block wouldn't have been the same without you, so hopefully we've left you with some good memories. So, until we meet again, stay gold. Bang.